Hello students, today we are going to study about pollination. So what is pollination? It is the transfer of pollen grains from where to where? From anther to stigma of the pistil. So what is pollination? It is the transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma of the pistil. Pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma of the pistil, and the transfer of pollen grains occurs with the help of pollinating agents such as wind, water, insects, birds, etc. We will discuss about the pollinating agents further. Depending upon the source of pollen grains, upon the source of pollen grains, pollination can be divided into three types: autogamy, geitonogamy, and third one is genogamy. Autogamy, geitonogamy and genogamy. Autogamy, it's self-pollination. What happens here? Here the transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma of the same flower. Here the key is the same flower. So in the same flower, the pollen grains are transferred from anther to stigma, and it is found in plants that produce flowers such as Chasmogamus and Clistogamus. Okay, Chasmogamus and Clistogamus. So what happens in Chasmogamus? Here the anther and stigma are exposed. Here the anther and stigma are exposed, where it remains enclosed in Clistogamus. Here it remains, anther and stigma are exposed, and here both are closed. An example are Catharanthus, examples of Catharanthus and Mirabilis. An example of Clistogamus are Viola, Polygala, etc. So autogamy, it's self-pollination, and here the self-pollination occurs in the same flower. That means in the same flower, pollen grains are transferred from anther to stigma, and it is found in some flowers such as Chasmogamus and Clistogamus flowers. Here the anthers and stigmas are exposed, and here it's closed. And examples are Catharanthus and Mirabilis, and the example of Viola and Polygala. Now geitonogamy. What is geitonogamy? This one, leave it. What is geitonogamy? So it is also a kind of self-pollination. In geitonogamy, it's also kind of self-pollination. Here the transfer of pollen grains take place. But from anther to stigma of not the same flower, of another flower but same plant. So the plant is the same, but there is a transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma of another flower, from anther of one flower to stigma of another flower. So if functionally if we consider it, it's cross pollinating. Why is it cross pollinating? Because a pollinating agent is involved here. Only there will be, if there will be pollinating agent, only then it will travel. Pollen grain will travel from one flower to another flower. So functionally there is cross pollination because a pollinating agent is involved, but genetically it is similar to autogamy, self pollination, since the pollen grains come from the same plant, because the plant is the same. So here the transfer of pollen grain is made from anther to stigma, but to another flower. One anther of a stigma, one anther of one flower and stigma of another flower. So pollen grains are transferred from anther to stigma of another flower. So functionally it's cross pollinating because a pollinating agent is involved, because there are two flowers involved here. But genetically autogamy is seen because it happens in the same plant. So the third one, genogamy. What is genogamy? So it is the transfer of pollen grains from anther of one plant to stigma of another plant. So the transfer is from anther of one plant to stigma of another plant. And what is the transfer? Transfer of pollen grains. So it is the only type of pollination which brings during pollination different types of pollen grains. Here different types of pollen grains are brought to stigma. So yes, that's genogamy for you. Now let us study about the agents of pollination. So agents of pollination. Agents of pollination. So what are agents of pollination? The agents which carry pollen grains from anther to stigma of same or different plants are termed as pollinating agents. So what are pollinating agents? Such agents which carry pollen grains from anther to stigma of same or different plants. They may be biotic or abiotic. Biotic or abiotic? Biotic means living organisms such as birds and insects. Abiotic, non-living objects such as wind, water. So they may be biotic agents or abiotic agents. Biotic agents are those living organisms which transfer the pollen grains from anther to stigma of same plant or different plants. So birds and insects. And by abiotic agents are non-living objects such as wind and water. So in abiotic agents, pollination occurs by chance. Here pollination occurs by chance. Now pollination by wind. So it is commonly seen in grasses. In grasses we see such kind of pollination. So the pollination to occur by wind must have some features. Here the pollen grains must be light, non-sticky. The The stamens must be well exposed stamens. The stamens must be well exposed. The stamens may be well exposed and large feathers, a feathery stigma. The pollen grains must be light, so it can be moved by wind. It must be non-sticky. It shouldn't stick to anything. It must be it must have well exposed stamens and large feathered stigma. Now pollination by water. Now pollination by water. So it is less common mode of pollination. It is less common mode of pollination in comparison to pollination by wind, and water act as a medium for gamete transfer. Water acts as a medium for gamete transfer in lower plants such as bryophytes. In lower plants such as bryophytes. So water acts as a medium in lower plants such as bryophytes for gamete transfer. Female flowers reach the water surface. They reach the water surface by a stalk. With the help of a stalk, they reach the water surface where the male gametes are already released. It happens in the case of Vallisneria. In the case of Vallisneria, what happens? The female gametes, female flowers reach the water surface by a stalk where male gametes are released. It happens in the case of Vallisneria. What are male gametes? They are pollen grains. Sometimes female, sometimes flowers, remain inside the water. Sometimes flowers remain inside the water. So the male gametes, that is the pollen grains, they are released inside water. They are released inside water. Example, seagrass. So there is pollination by water. It is less common in comparison to pollination by wind. What happens in the case of water? Wind here in bryophytes I have been seeing water acts as a medium for gamete transfer, especially in bryophytes. If the male gametes are released, if the male gametes are there on the watery surface, the female gametes also move with the help of a stalk on the surface of the water, and then the male gametes are released. It happens in the case of Vallisneria. And male gametes, we all know that are pollen grains, and sometimes the flowers remain inside the water at quite a depth. Then what happens? The male gametes are released inside the water, and as a result pollination happens. In water pollination, what happens? Pollen grains are prevented from being wet. They are prevented from being wet by mucilaginous covering. The covering is of mucilage, because of which water doesn't get wet. So pollination by insects. Let us rub this one. Pollination by insects. How does it happen? So bees are the most important pollinating agents here. Some animals, rats, lizards, bats, they also help in pollination, but the plants are specially adapted. They are specially adapted for this particular purpose. So it is not possible for any animal. Some animals can act as pollinating agents, but it is not possible for any animal to become a pollinating agent. So bees are the most common ones who help in pollination. Rats, lizards, bats, they may also help, but it is not possible for any animal or plant, any animals or insect to pollinate, because it's the plants only which are designed in such a way that pollination can occur. In some cases, what happens? The insect and the plant, they exhibit a mutual relationship. How? Let us take an example, the yucca moth relation. Yucca moth, that's the relationship. What happens here? The insect moth is the insect here. It helps in pollinating. The yucca flower. The moth is an insect and it helps in pollinating the yucca flower. Where is the flower? It provides a space. It provides space in the locule. For the moth to lay eggs. So what does yucca do? It provides a space in the locule for the moth to lay eggs. And the larva feed on the yucca seed. The larva, what does it eat? It eats the yucca seed which is within the fruits. And the larva eats so yucca provides a space in the locule to the moth to lay eggs, and the larva of moth feed on the yucca seed which is within the fruit. So that's all for today. Next day we will continue with pollen pistil interaction. Until then, keep studying biology and don't forget to subscribe my channel and to like and share my videos.